This presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, story time again. Now, I'm sorry if my nose is a little red. I just got out of the shower and I'm a little stuffed up today, so bear with me now. This story takes place about 2 years ago. I was living with my buddy Cookie. Now, when I lived with Cookie, it was me, Cookie, Cookie's wife, his two kids, and my buddy Logan, and we were all in the same house. Now, um, we were really bored a lot, so we had to come up with a way to entertain ourselves. Now, I mind you, you know what happens when you get a group of dudes together and you need something to do to occupy the time. We watched copious amounts of porn. No, I'm kidding. Um, it was probably a little worse than that. We we invented this game called Tech Nine. Now, basically, the premise of the game is that you can walk up to someone who is playing the game and punch them in the hangsters. Now, when you punch them in the hangsters, you have to say Tech 9 after, before they say free shot. And if they say free shot before you can say Tech 9, they are allowed to hit you back, and you have to let them do it. It's one of those games where it's really funny until it's you. Now, there's a good chance that none of us can ever have kids again because we played this game for about 6 months, and it got pretty crazy. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, probably in my experience of the game, the worst 3 that I witnessed or went through. We're going to start out with my favorite because this was all just so circumstantial. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. So, we're all outside in the driveway. It was me, Cookie, Logan, John, our friend Johnny, Kara, and my buddy Gus, who you'll hear about him again later. He lived across the street. Great dude. He's like, imagine the dwarfized nutty professor who's addicted to porn and white. So we're all outside and we're joking around and everything. And I walked up the driveway. Now the driveway it's not like a long driveway. It's long enough to you can fit the car in, and then the house it goes border along the walkway borders along the house, and in the center of the house you have the stairs that lead up inside. We're all out there joking around, sitting in front of the house. And I walked all the way up the driveway to the road, and I picked up a rock, and this stripe went through the rock, and it was a different color. And me being the curious man that I am, I was like, I wonder if this goes all the way through. So I took it, and there was a border of like boulders going along the driveway. So I take this rock and I smash it on the boulder thing, and it breaks just a little bit on the end, but it wasn't enough for it to go all the way through. So I was like, all right, I got to pick it up and I got to smash it again. Now, meanwhile, while I'm doing this, Cookie is down at the end of the driveway, at the whole other end of the driveway, joking around, telling a story to Logan, John, and whoever the hell else was there. So this was all pure luck. I took the rock and I smashed it down on another rock, and it split in half, and the force of it made it ricochet, so it like half of it came flying up by my face. And I just barely moved out of the way. So as the rock comes flying towards my face, I'm looking back towards Cookie and all of them. And the other half of the rock had actually gone up. It actually had bounced all the way up the driveway, hit another rock, bounced up, and hit Cookie right in the gnarl dangers. It was a 1 in a million hit, and I can only imagine the thought that was going through his head while that all happened to him. Oh, and then I creme brulee, but So, that's number 1. That's the first one. Number 2, also, unfortunately happened to Cookie. He was walking out of the house. He goes down the steps, and he tripped. And there is a telephone pole in front of the house that goes, it's in his yard, and it came there. Those big thick wires that I'm talking. It came down and it was just chilling out there. It's a thick wire. It's like this big around. It's a big thick wire, and basically he fell onto the wire and crushed his hard candies. Granted, that one's not as glamorous as the other ones, but it was still really funny. There was another one where our buddy Gary Logan had punched him, and he ended up pissing blood for 2 days. But we won't get into that. Now I'm going to tell you the one that I honestly hate the most because it happened to me, but has been regarded as the best Tech 9 that ever happened during this era of my life, which was like 2 years ago. So during this era, this is probably the best Tech 9 that ever occurred, and it was just so bad. So I am laying on the couch. It was one of those small love seats, and my legs were hanging over this, like, the rail on the side, and I was just laying down, legs hanging over, and there was a table with a bunch of soda cans on there. And I was just sitting there watching TV. Gus is on the other couch. And so Logan comes out of the kitchen, walks over, and downward hammer fists right in my boys, right in my bros. I remember, without thinking, I rolled off of the couch and flipped the table full of soda, so now there's soda everywhere. I am laying in a puddle of soda, like, clutching my boys, my pills, and Gus is dying. He's just hysterically laughing at me. Now, I remember I was laying on the floor, and I tried to get up, and my legs they just turned to jello. I couldn't move. And I remember I was laying there, I was like, Gus! I can't feel my legs! So Cookie hears that, he comes inside, and he realizes what happens, and now he is dying too. Logan is outside. He had to walk outside to contain, like, collect himself because he couldn't handle it, what he had just done to his, supposed to be friend and roommate. He just completely decimated every chance of me ever having a kid of my own. Every chance. So I remember I finally was able to stand up again. Gus is too busy laughing to help me. Asshole. He's too busy laughing to help me, so I stand up. And I'm like, I had that full pain face, you know what I'm saying? Oh. So I start walking towards the bathroom because now I gotta piss. And I remember Logan comes in and he looks at me. He's like, "All right, man, I'm sorry. I didn't." He's like, "That was probably a bit much." And I remember I looked at him and you son of a bitch! I swear to God, I will get you back for this. So in between laughter, he realizes that he hit me a little hard. And he's like, all right, you know what? He's like, out of this, it's a show of friendship. He goes, you get a free shot on me. He's like, I'll give you a free shot. I was like, yes, this is my chance. This is my chance for payback. So he stands there, and I remember I took a running start, and I go to kick him in the boys, and I missed. Yeah, I missed. I hit him in the thigh. So I back up, and I take another running start, and I missed again. I hit him in the other thigh. So I back up one more time, and I get a running start, and I missed again. I don't know what it was. I just kept missing. At this point, he's laughing at me because I'm an idiot. Gus is still laughing for me being on the ground screaming. And out of instinct, the only thing I thought, I was like, I'm going to miss again. I was like, I am retarded. So I grabbed him by his hair, and I remember I took my hand, and I hammer fisted. I was ready to go, and I just ferociously started pummeling him in the hangsters. I just beat the shit out of him. And the entire time I'm screaming, Tech 9, bitch! Tech 9! Tech 9! Now, I might have gone a little overboard, but that's how it happened. And there's nothing we can really do about that. Yeah. So that's the story pretty much. So I guess the moral of this story is when you get invited to play a game of Tech 9, you better watch yourself. You better watch yourself. Because, because, as my father and his father before him once told, the left one's made of gold. And you don't want to lose that nugget of gold.